Hi, I'm Tim, and next to me is virtually is Dylan, and this is the key to all of this. And today's episode, we're going to be discussing Sebulba.
Sebulba. Yeah, what an interesting topic, because when we first decided on doing this show, it was let's agree on a topic, then we'll each come up with like secret topics, and then we gave each other
surprise topics.
Yeah, gave each other a very short heads up, and you said Sebulba. Let's call him Sebulba.
Well, you know,
Sebulba.
it's not just everyone's favorite type of tea,
but the women and the
Sebulba,
children.
Yeah. I wanted to do a deep dive a little bit on a character that is very, minor. He only appears in one episode, but we see hints of his impact and his species impact throughout the entire series. So I thought it'd be a good, fun opportunity to, we've talked about all the major players of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about a minor player.
Yeah. And with you saying that he was only in one episode, I thought that he was a bartender in Jabba's sail barge.
Yes, that is actually, I thought so too. I thought he was also in Attack of the Clones, the angry driver who, when Anakin Skywalker is falling by him, kind of curses him out.
Yeah.
Not him. That's just a random Doug.
Huh.
His species. So that unnamed Doug that was makes an appearance in Jabba the Hutt's palace is a completely different Doug. But Sebulba ended up owing thousands of American dollars. He owed a lot of galactic credits to the Hutts.
Because
so it's not because of his
the Boon to Eve mishap.
Well, he continues on. You thought that would be it for Sebulba, but he actually goes from pod racing to then battle racing. And the last time we see Sebulba in canon is in comic book, I forget the name, but he is approached and kind of conned into helping the rebellion by Lando Calrissian, who enters under the name Rizzo. And so he begrudgingly, he's been helping pirates at that time who have been stealing from the rebellion, but he gets kind of duped into helping out along with the other battle racers, as they're called, into helping the rebellion. So he has kind of lived a long life for, a gambler, a racer, and then a battle racer. So
battle racer,
I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I thought that was interesting to see like the trajectory of a minor character who you would think would be dead by. I mean, so many like main characters die throughout the course of the rebellion, and it's interesting to see that maybe the key to longevity is engaging in a lot of illicit activities in the Star Wars universe. Maybe the person with death sticks actually outlived even Obi Wan, who
was
told
it
him to get on the straight and narrow.
Elon Sleazebaggin or Baggin?
Yeah.
That's great.
He has a name that would drive a person to drugs.
Yeah, I feel. It's
just
like
a sheer embarrassment.
Yeah, it's like most families go into like medicine, like we're a family of doctors, but he's like, I have to be a sleazebag. It's in the name.
I have to. It's in the name. Yeah, I wasn't born bad. I was just named in a bad way.
One thing I find extremely compelling about the whole Sebulba story is, yes, he's a minor character, but that guy just lost a race to a kid who's only pod raced once. And that's kind of like the losing team in all of the Air Bud movies. Like, imagine their story after that. It can't be that they all move on to keep playing basketball. There's no way that he kept pod racing and was like, who would want to bet on him or see him or sponsor him?
He kept going. Yeah. He was beaten by a child. And much like the losing team in Air Bud, he's probably faced a lot of shame, probably a lot of wedgies and pantsing in between home period and fourth period. And he keeps going. And I think that once he gets over it, I think he actually does pretty well. He still like owes money and stuff like that, but
who doesn't?
For a person, I mean, ditto. I guess I'd lose in a Boone to Eve race to Amex right now. I think that it's impressive that he kept it up for so. He must be a good racer if he's doing it 20 plus years later.
Yeah.
And think about this though. We root against Sebulba for that entire experience. But when you really think about it, Anakin winning the Boone to Eve Classic sets him on the trajectory of then becoming eventually Darth Vader and helping the Empire.
I thought you were diving into Sebulba's storyline. Like, wait, Tim, do you think that Sebulba turns into Darth Vader?
Look, we all know that Sebulba's transformation into Darth Sidious is canon. They both look roughly the same facially after the lightning strike.
The pod race crash actually broke his legs back to normal so he could walk upright.
Back into normal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became a senator. Pretty much every political rags to riches story right there. But I think that he ends up, by losing, he ends up sealing the fate of the galaxy. Because then only by winning the race does Anakin achieve his freedom.
Yeah.
We forget that that's like a major point.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sebulba, now that I rewatch it, I'm cheering Sebulba on when he's cheating, yelling curse words at Anakin in Huttese. He's a multilingual Doug. This guy is clearly a Renaissance Doug.
Mm-hmm. Classic Doug.
And a classic Doug from the 90s.
Yeah.
He loves Patty Mayonnaise. Patty Mayonnaise can't stand the sight of him because he's so ugly. But
Pork chops dead. Classic Doug.
So yeah, I at first thought that it was that Sebulba was in like a bunch of these movies.
Yeah, I always assumed that too.
I'm going to research this, and it was like not him. And I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense because there's not like a Sebulba name tag that the Doug is wearing that would make me think it's Sebulba.
He's got like one of those like poker visors on and a little red and white striped shirt serving drinks that just says Doug, but then Sebulba under it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could have been
like nothing like him.
Sorry. I feel like that could have been where he ended up, like in Return of the Jedi, having to serve drinks for Jabba the Hutt for losing that race, because there's no way that there wasn't heavy gambling. Like Jabba the Hutt's just going to go watch some people drive around. Like, no, that's not.
I thought so. I thought he would be for sure indebted to Jabba the Hutt, and it would be great, kind of nice story arc. That like. That actually made sense.
Yeah.
But alas, that is not the case. It's an unnamed Doug. It has, kind of like a mop top. If you look at it closely, it looks like it has like a little Frodo Baggins wig on.
So Sebulba can't grow his hair out in 30 years?
He has alopecia, I think, for the Doug community.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I know.
I found out
1 in 100.
I found out that that's an autoimmune disorder. I didn't know that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, if you learn anything from this episode, it's that alopecia is an autoimmune disorder.
Yeah. Take that, WebMD.
Yeah. It was Jeeves. I asked him.
Oh, how's Jeeves doing?
Ask him yourself.
No, I refuse.
You just got to Google him. How's Jeeves?
How are you, Jeeves? There are 13 sites that will tell you I'm dead. That was dark. But yeah, so that's it for Sebulba. Yeah. I didn't really have much else planned. I really thought that was him for all those movies. And there's also a Doug in the diner scene in Attack of the Clones too. So, this Doug is kind of like making his way Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to see Sebulba make his way to Coruscant and then like find himself like back on the outer rim, like
Mm-hmm.
hard up for cash, in bartending classes at Jabba the Hutt's palace,
Yeah.
and slash university.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
When you did the research, did it say like, no, this is his name, like those characters, or is it just
no.
like? So it's not canon that he's not that character.
It's not canon that he's not that character. It's not canon that he is that character.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's him, just based on looking closely. I think it's just an unnamed Doug. I think it was just the effort to kind of diversify the species in the I guess the extended editions.
Yeah.
You call them. But you know what? I'm glad that he's doing well. He's still battle racing. There's nothing really after the Battle of Yavin, so like right around like Jakku time. So aside from that Lando Calrissian meetup, so who knows? He's still doing it. You know, he could very well still be doing that. Maybe
he's flying today
after Episode 9. He's flying today. God bless him.
Well, if he got a spin-off of movies, it would probably be like how Rocky turned into the Creed franchise. So now Sebulba is training other Dougs or other pod racers to become the champion that he could never be, all because of this one bad day that he had with a bad race.
I would seriously watch
Doug.
Each of those 12.
It's just called Doug.
12 movies about it, with Michael B. Jordan taking over the reins of the voice of the new Doug Challenger.
Yeah, Creed Bulba.
Creed Bulba.
Yeah. But I
approve.
I do have a couple questions about this, just to get a little conversation going. So, in episode 1, do you think Qui-Gon knew that Anakin was going to win, that the Force was going to do it, or that he somehow cheated to like help Anakin win? Do you think any of that stuff came into play?
I think the only cheating that he did do was with the loaded dice.
Yeah.
I think that he knew that there was a high probability that Anakin would win because he's like the chosen one, and it's like he should be able to do it. So he does take a bit of a gamble. But maybe Qui-Gon just has a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's on a Sunday, he's at Coruscant's Pachanga, just
you can't say that you can't say that on this show.
Pachanga?
Yeah. I'm going to bleep it out. Every time you say Pachanga, I'm going to bleep it out.
That'll just make me look so strange. What kind of casino has the name Beep? This podcast sponsored by Morongo. Good
Pachanga
jobs.
Casino.
Yeah. Hey, right back. Pachanga Casino, you man.
Whoa. Bleep bleep.
Bleep bloop.
Oh, R2's here.
Come on in.
Wait, I have a great idea. If we ever swear on this podcast, I'm going to have R2D2 pop up and just go bleep bloop and then go back down.
Really funny. I love that. That's a great idea. Maybe Qui-Gon just loves the thrill of it all and loves just putting in galactic credits into the nearest slot machine.
Yeah, I think so. I do think that if Anakin lost, he would have realized that Anakin wasn't the chosen one. I think that if the Force didn't will Anakin to win that, he would have just been like...
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that if Anakin loses this, he saves the galaxy from a lot of heartache from the Empire. It just that happened to be the fate that occurred.
Imagine if that was the ending of the movie. Anakin loses and Qui-Gon's like...
Yeah, I mean, he did same ending with him getting killed by Darth Maul.
Yeah, and then just nowhere to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they bring in a different Anakin in Attack of the Clones. It's completely unrelated.
It's Sebulba.
Who then becomes Darth Vader. It's Sebulba. Oh
Sebulba wins the boot to Eve. Classic.
Sebulba is the key to all of this.
Mm-hmm. Also, it would be great if when Qui-Gon's doing the Republican credits or Republic, I always call them Republican credits. Republic credits will be fine, and Watto's like, no, they won't. And
no, they won't.
What he goes and he throws the chance cube, and then Qui-Gon's like Watto sees that. What, are you cheating? It'd be so great. Mine just sounds like a weird fry cook. You do a better Watto than I do.
Watto.
You've got the gravel.
Yeah, I do. I've got gravel for days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that Watto could have accused him of cheating, and I mean, he's a Jedi. Makes sense that he would use the Force,
mm-hmm.
and Watto just lets him. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I guess he's afraid of that lightsaber.
Yeah, I guess so. So Watto, where do you think? Watto, where do you think he is today? Sebulba, where do you think he is? We'll say present day. We'll go with Mandalorian as present day. Where do you think he is?
I think he must still be kicking it. Maybe he's retired.
Mm-hmm.
Watto, I'm sure, is dead. That guy, for sure.
His wings no longer work, so he can't move.
He's on end-of-life care. He's in a hospice with some old banthas and, being served by nurse droids.
That sounds nice.
I don't think that sounds great. Yeah. I think Watto is for sure dead.
Also, he must weigh I don't know, a gram if those little wings can carry that fat boy. I feel like he's meat and bones, but he flies as if he's a bug. But I don't know.
Yeah, the wing to body ratio is very questionable
mm-hmm.
at best. He's on disability for obesity. He's getting galactic credits.
His life was ruined when Anakin won as well, because he lost Anakin, his only help at the shop, and clearly he needed it because those droids, you boop the nose droids, were useless.
Well, Anakin wasn't just his help at the shop.
Oh, I
he was a slave. He was a slave to Watto. Yeah, it really is it's not that, it's like saying the bad guys in 12 Years a Slave.
Well, were you going to say
guys.
12 Days of Christmas? No, I understand, but with that, I mean, his main reason for having Anakin was to help at the shop, and you lose that, and then Shmi gets taken and murdered or sold.
And then Watto loses a bit of his tooth too, doesn't he?
Oh, a little bit.
What happened? I mean, he's eating a lot. I guess it's just natural erosion from the constant use of his walrus tusks.
So you've never had a part of your teeth erode or chip or anything for 10 years?
Well, I did actually bite into a burrito once, and there was a hard bean inside. And so there's a chip in one of my back molars. This is riveting information
mm-hmm.
for our thousands of watchers and listeners to learn about my dental history. But it's still there. The gap's still there, and doctors say I can never dance again. But I couldn't dance before, so it completely works out.
So there you go. Sebulba was also a key to all of this, and I had a good time chatting about him. And I didn't think I would, because when you told me that that's what you want to talk about, I was like, this is going to be a long, long show.
This is going to be a 4-hour show, and
then we're not doing any more episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for indulging me in this wild ride.
Yeah.
Discussing Sebulba, this wild pod racing podcast ride, and I think we set out to accomplish all I wanted to, which is talking about a minor character
mm-hmm.
who is still alive from start to finish of at least from
as far as we know
to Return of the Jedi. Yeah, as far as we know.
Yeah. All right, well, join us next week where we talk about a movie that we both very much want to see, and that is Solo 2.
May the Force be with you.
And also with you.
Forgive us our sins, for we have trespassed.
Forgive me for I have sneezed.